evening, and that is the Nelsa Properties TIF. And we'll turn things over to Jessica Green from Northland Securities to tell us a little bit more about this. Or Tarek, whoever wants to go first.
Mayor, Council, good evening. All right, as you noted, Mayor, we have a public hearing scheduled for this evening related to the proposed establishment of Tax Increment Financing District 1-17. The public hearing tonight will serve two purposes. So again, considering the establishment of the tax increment financing district, and then also based on the estimate with the tax increment that could be generated by the district and provided to the developer, it would constitute a business subsidy. So this also acts as your subsidy hearing as well. Prior to a hearing taking place, it is required under state law that, of course, we provide notice to the county and the school district of a proposed district coming forward, and those notices and the fiscal implications were provided to both the county and the school district. We do invite comments, and also within the public hearing notice that is published in the newspaper, we also invite comments from the public as well. I will say that we have not received any comments from either the school board or the county board. We did receive from the county commissioner that he is in favor of the project. I'll pause here. Tarek, Council, have you received any comments that we should enter into minutes?
No comment.
Okay, great. Okay, so with that, you have a TIF plan that is included in your packet tonight. It is lengthy. The TIF plans are drafted so that they comply with state law. So there's a number of charts in there, details, calculations, again, meant to comply with the TIF Act. So I am not planning to get into the entirety of the plan. We're just going to keep it pretty high level for this evening. Of course, the TIF plan was drafted because the city received an application for financial assistance from Nelsa Properties LLC. Nelsa Properties is proposing to construct a new facility that will be used to house Minnesota Molding, which is a molding manufacturing company that exists here in Painesville. This will be an expansion of that company. They currently don't have the space and the power where they currently are, so this will be an expansion that allows them to expand to the degree that is necessary for the business. So the first portion of the plan itself just gets into some introduction and some definitions here within the TIF plan. The second portion of the plan gets into the development program and the development district. What's confusing about TIF sometimes is there's a development district and then there's the TIF district. So here what we're considering is the modification to the development district. The development district can be thought of as the area in which the TIF districts sort of live and where they're established. So in this case, we are not looking to modify the district to enlarge it or to decrease its size. The boundaries are currently coterminous with the city's boundaries, so those boundaries are going to stay the same. The only reason for the modification here is to allow this addition or this establishment of this additional district. So that's the only change to the development district. And then from there, the plan gets into the actual tax increment financing district itself. So section 3 here starts with the statutory authority, so references the TIF Act, project description here, approximately 62,627 square foot manufacturing facility. Approximate cost here based on what the developer has provided is about $3.9 million, so a really nice size project here for the city. There is no land acquisition that is planned by the city. This is all being done by the developer. And then it goes through the need for the tax increment financing. So what has been provided to the city conveys that the developer is not able to complete the project without the financial assistance. And that financial assistance, the assistance is in the form of TIF. The boundaries of the district include one particular parcel here. This will be considered an economic development district, so the duration, it's considered a short district. Economic development districts allow for 8 years of increment from the receipt of the first increment, which allows for 9 years of increment in total. We have a combined market value currently on this parcel of $81,700. Based on what the county assessor has provided us, based on what they know of the project, they are currently estimating that the as-built valuation would be $2,977,100. which means the captured tax capacity is approximately $57,567 per year. So we make some adjustments and some estimates based on those figures that is provided by the assessor's office, and then we model out what we imagine the estimated increment to be. That information is then put into a development agreement. Our understanding is that you'll be considering that development agreement at your next regularly scheduled meeting. So what you're considering tonight is the establishment of the district itself. The council then has the ability to consider that development agreement. So establishing the district does not require the city to enter into that development agreement. If you were to just establish the district, it doesn't mean that you've really done anything to provide assistance to the developer until that agreement is in place. So the developer can't really act on incurring any costs that are going to be reimbursed with TIF until that development agreement has been approved. One item that I will say to council that I am going to adjust before the before the TIF plan is certified, I'm going to move the dollar amount. This is on page 4. It's figure 3.1. There's a number 395,798. It's under public improvements currently. I'm going to move that up 2 slots to site improvements. The city can do this administratively under the TIF Act either way, but just being that we haven't certified this yet, I'm going to move it just because I think it fits better with the cost that'll be reimbursed rather than have you do that after the fact. So it doesn't change anything with the notices that have gone out. It doesn't change anything with the estimates for the TIF Act. It's just meant to basically be a better understanding of where the budget will sit. With that, I do believe we have representation from the project if there are specific questions about the project, but I'm happy to take any questions related to TIF process, questions about the assistance, the but-for test, any of that.
Okay, since you said the but-for test, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So with any TIF district, what is required is that the council make the finding that but for the assistance that the project would not move forward. In this case, the application clearly states that without the TIF assistance, the project would not be financially viable. So in that case, we have proven the but-for test that the developer has conveyed to the city that they do not have a project that is viable without the assistance. And again, that assistance comes in the form of the tax increment financing assistance.
Thank you. Any questions for Jessica?
Brian.
Well, I was going to call on Brian next. Brian, would you like to tell us a little bit about the project and what's going on? And if I could, I ask you to use the microphone? Sorry. The microphones are terrible enough when you're in front of it. They're hopeless if you're not. So
I'm sorry, what was that?
the microphones are terrible enough when you're in front of it, so it's just hopeless if you're not there.
Okay, well, it's a 64,000 square foot building approximately. It is going to be it's going to house Minnesota Molding. We're going to move from our existing building over to there, and hopefully through the years we'll be expanding. But the building is as big as it is because Valley Industries is also going to be leasing part of that building to help us out. Nelson Plastics has been expanding. We've been leasing space from Wayne for years, and they're more or less booting us out. And I've talked with Tarek many times about Valley Industries expanding, and the cost has just been too high. And so this way, by kind of joining the two companies, it makes more sense.
Could you speak a little bit to Jessica's point on the but-for test and how, if we didn't approve the TIF district, if this would be feasible?
Well, we've already made a lot of changes. When I was looking to build a building, we were looking, trying to keep the costs down, obviously. We were looking at metal structures, just not feasible in this day and age. Even the building this pole-style building, wood building, is significantly more than what I paid for our 60,000 square foot building steel structure. And then also you start to throw in the interest rates and then the cost of the actual building materials as it is, even for wood structure. It's just, well, as you guys well know, everything is ridiculous these days. But it's something that has to be done. you know, from our standpoint, but we do need the help. I mean, I think it's a win-win for, our building, Savage Land, that's 60,000 square feet. So we built that in 2013, I think is when we moved in, and now the increment, that's all done as of last year, and I think, you know, we benefited from that, and now the city's gonna benefit.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions for Brian? All right. I'm going to ask Jessica some questions. You can just nod your head and I'll just make the record of it for nothing else. So because this is a TIF, we're looking at 9 years, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
However, the council can certainly choose to do something different. So if you wanted to do something less, you could choose to do that.
So as drafted, it's 9 years, and if we wanted to do something less, we certainly could.
Yep.
And because this is TIF, we're not losing tax revenue by doing this. This is not a tax abatement. The city is keeping in its tax coffers what's being collected now, but we're losing with quotes, the improvement value of it. That's going to go back to Nelsa Properties as towards their construction costs and things like that.
Correct. We suggest that you think about it in a way that you're foregoing that additional revenue for a certain period of time, because again, with that but-for test, if that assistance wasn't provided, you wouldn't have the project. You continue to maintain that base, so really it's a net neutral for the city.
Yep. So it's net neutral for the 9 years, and then after that 9 years is up, then the city starts collecting that additional revenue. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have any questions. I'm all in favor of
And
this.
all three entities have to agree, the county and the school district.
Not on a TIF.
Not on TIF.
Yeah, that's on, no, I thought it was the other way. Okay.
On abatement, they would hold their own hearing if they want to participate. With TIF, they get notice 30 days before the hearing.
Right.
So they've got a number of, or a good amount of time to provide comment if they're in favor or not in favor. And then, of course, we would bring that information back if they weren't in favor. The county commissioner for the Painesville area did say that he was in favor of the project.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything else. Thank you both so much. I guess with that, there's nobody else here. We'll close our public hearing. We do have a draft resolution 2024-29 regarding or approving the modification of Municipal Development District Number 1, adoption of the modified development plan, therefore, establishing tax increment financing economic development district number 1-17 therein, and approving a tax increment financing plan. I would suggest that whatever motion we make be to approve resolution 2024-29 with the exception of fixing the typographical error on the word therefore at the top of the page. Just because I noticed it tonight.
I'll make that motion.
All right, there's a motion by Soini to approve resolution 2024-29.
Second.
Seconded by Brick. All those in favor indicate by saying, anybody want to discuss? I don't want to upset Mr. Robert and his rules of order here.
No.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, no opposed, motion carries. Gene, I was expecting you to stir the pot.
Just for fun.
All right, and then we have a proposed motion to approve the TIF plan as presented, District Number 1-17, Nelsa Properties LLC. Gene got
make
the
that
last one.
motion.
All right, there's a motion by Brick to approve the TIF plan.
I'll second it.
All right, there's a
Happens
second.
when there's only three of us here.
Any discussion?
No.
All right, calling the question. All those in favor of approving the TIF plan indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Right. Thank you, folks. We will address the development agreement at our next meeting, but with those in place, we have no more business and we are adjourned.
And that's on Monday.
It's on Monday.
There you go.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Brian.
Thanks.